Hello guys, in this video we are going to create this split landing page. As you can see, when I hover over this side, this section gets bigger, and when I hover over the other side, the other section gets bigger, and the buttons have a hover effect, as well as there is a transition as well. So we are going to create this. This is taken from 50 projects in 50 days. Udemy course, and you can check the links in the description for more info on that. So yeah, let's get it into the video. So we'll be using the template that we were previously using, and you can check the link for that in the cards. We had created a video on how to create the template. I have already added the images, the PlayStation image and the Xbox image into the GitHub repo. You can check that out also if you want to create the same thing that I am creating. So the links to everything is in the description. You can check that out. So I just open all the files here, index, script and style, and we'll just close this section so that we can work more freely. First, let's just do the HTML, and we'll just change the title of the page, and we'll just remove this. So here we want div with the class of container. So we'll do container, and in the container we want two divs, basically, one for the left section and one for the right section. So we'll create a div with a class of split, and one of the div will have the left class, because that will be in the left section, and in the left section there will be an h1 tag. The h1 tag will be for the PlayStation 5, and also in the left section we have a button. So we'll do an a tag with a class of btn, and the href will be hash. It's not going anywhere, and we'll just put the text as by now, and we'll copy this split left and we'll paste it beneath. We'll change this class here to right, and we'll change the h1 to Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X, and everything else is the same. So we'll save that. Now we can see that it's there in the HTML page. So basically we are using live server to show this dynamically, and whenever I save something here, it will be reflected in the browser window. This is all the HTML that we need. So let's just get into the styling part. In the styling, we'll use the Roboto font, so we need not change that, but we do not want the flex, so we'll just remove that, and we'll change the minimum height as height of 100 viewport, and we'll save that as well. So in the container, we'll give it a position of relative, because we want to position everything inside the container as absolute. We'll save that, and we'll give it a background color of gray or 333, and we'll give it a width and height property. We'll give it a width of 100%, and we'll give it a height of 100% as well. So we'll say that. Now it's taking the whole screen. The white here is because of the margin from the h1 tag. We will fix that. But before that, we'll just before we change the h1 tag, we'll just do the split properly. So we will take the class of split and we want to position it absolute. We want the width to be 50%. We want the height to be 100%. We want the overflow to be hidden. And save that. Now everything is there, but the right and the left is overlapping, so we need to change that, and that's what we will do now. We'll take the split and we'll take the class of left and we'll set the position and we'll give it a value of left of 0 so that it's on the left. Here we'll give the background image as well. So we'll do background and we'll take the image. So for PS we are doing we are taking the PS image, so it's ps.jpg. Now the image is there. We want to set some properties for the background, so we do background repeat, no repeat, and you want to set the size as well, background size, and we want to set it as cover. Now the image is there. We want to do the same thing but for right. So we'll copy paste that and we'll change the class to right, and we'll change this to right as well, and we change the image as right.jpg. Sorry, not right.jpg, xbox.jpg. So now the images are there and it's properly placed. Now let's work on the overlay for both of these sections. So to do that, we'll be using a pseudo selector before. So we'll do split dot left and with before tag, before pseudo selector, and when we use before we need to have a content tag, content attribute, and we'll give it a value of empty string, not inherent, just an empty string. And we want to set the position of this overlay, so we'll set it as absolute, and we'll give it a width and height property. So we'll give it a width of 100% and we'll give it a height of 100%. Now we want a background color for this, so we'll do a background color, and here instead of hard coding the color here, we'll create it into kind of like a variable. So to do that, we'll create a root scope at the top of the page. So we'll do root, and in here we'll create variables. So left background color, and we'll give it an RGBA value because we want to change the opacity, so we need the alpha value or A value. So we'll use RGBA, and here we'll give a value of 87, 84, 236 and 0.7. So this is a blue overlay, and when I copy this and put it here, variable, and put the variable name here, you can see there is a blue overlay. So this color comes from this variable, and 0.7 is the opacity here. Okay, so to do we'll create the variable for right as well. So right bg color, and we'll give it an RGBA value as well, and the RGBA value for that is 43, 40, and 0.8. So this is a dark gray value, and now we'll just copy this and paste it one more time, and we'll change the class to right and change this to right. Now there is an overlay for this as well. Now let's work on the h1 tags here and the button. So first we'll begin with the h1 tag. So we'll go up and take the h1. We want the h1 to have white color, so we'll begin with that. Also we want a bigger font size, so we'll set a font size of 4 rem. Yeah, that's better. Now we want to position the tag, so we want to position it absolute. Let me just make this window a little bigger. Okay, so let's position it absolute, and we'll give it a top value of 20%, and we'll give it a left value of 50%. Now it's positioned, but the position starts from here. We do not want that. We want it to be a little more here, and to do that we'll give it a translate text property. So we'll do transform translate x, and we'll give it a minus 50% value. We'll save that. Now it's positioned correctly. Okay, the font size is a little big, I guess, so we'll just reduce the font size. Yeah, so we have settled at 3.5 rem. Also we do not want this wrapping of this text, so we can disable that. So we'll set the white space as no wrap. Now it's not wrapping and it's perfect way as it is. Yeah, so if we change the width also, it remains the same. So that's on the h1 tag. Let's now work on the button. So get the button class, and first let's change the text decoration. We'll set it to none, and we want the color to be white. We want the text to be uppercase, so text transform uppercase. We want a border, so we'll give it a 2 pixel border, solid, and the color is white, and we want to give it a padding of 15 pixel. Increase the width. So now let's position the button. So we'll do position absolute, and we'll give left as 50%, and we'll give top as 40%. Say that. Okay, it's there, but text is not in the center. So what we'll do is we'll display flex, and do align items center, justify content center. So it's there, but again it's not the center of the div, so we'll do a translate text just like this one, and basically we'll just copy paste this one. Yeah. So now it's looking better. So I changed the padding to 1.5 run so that everything is in run units. Okay, now let's add the button hover. So we'll do split left, and when the left button is hovered, we want to change the background color, so we'll do background color, and basically we'll set the color in as variables. So we'll copy this and paste it once again, but this time we'll change some values. So left hover color, and basically we want the same color as hover color, but we'll change the opacity to 1. And for the right hover color, we don't want the same color, we wanted the Xbox green, so we'll type that here, 28, 122, 28, and 1 for the opacity. So now I have not written that. Okay, so let's just write that, background button hover, and we'll do variable left button hover and save that, and when I hover, the color is there. We also want to set the border color as well, so we'll do border color and set the same value. Okay, so now the hover is taken properly, and we will copy paste the same thing for the right button as well, and we'll change the color from left hover color to right hover color. We'll save that. Now there is that green hover. Also in smaller screen, we do not want this text size to be so big, so we will write a media query at the end of the page. So we'll do media max width of 800 pixel, and we want to take the h1 tag, and we'll reduce the size or reduce the font size to 1.5 run. That's too small. 2 run, yeah, that's better. Now let's position it a little more down, so we'll make the top as 40%. 40 is too much, so we'll make it as 30%. Yeah, that's better. We want to reduce the padding for button as well, so we'll do .btn, and we'll change the padding to 1 run, and we'll change the width as well. Okay, yeah, now this looks better for smaller screen, and when the screen is big, it also looks better. So now let's add the hover and width change for this page. So how we are doing is, when we hover over this section, a class gets added, and when the class gets added, the width increases. So that's how we are going to do this. If we add a class of hover left, the left section's width becomes bigger, and if we had a class of overwrite, the right section gets bigger. We'll write it here. So we'll take the split, not split, we'll take over left, and when it's there, we want the left to have a width of we'll give this value in a variable, so we'll define that here as well. So we'll give as hover width 75% and other width 25%. So we'll save that, and here we'll give the value of left as hover width and we'll copy this, paste it once, and when hover left is there, we want the right to have the other width. Now let's add this hover left manually into the HTML and see how this works. So in the container, when you add hover left, you can see play session takes 75% of the width, while Xbox takes 25% of the width. Okay, so now let's remove this actually, and we'll add the hover right as well. So we'll copy paste and the hover right and hover right, and we'll change this to other width, and we'll change this to hover width. So basically what we are saying here is, when hover right is there, we want the left section to have 25% of the width, and when hover right is there, we want the right section to have 75% of the width. So we'll save that. Now let's write the JavaScript to add that class. So to do that, we'll go into the JavaScript file and we'll get all the elements from the DOM. We'll do container first, document.query selector, and we'll select by class of container. We'll copy, paste 2 times, and we'll get the left class and the right class. We'll save that, and we want to add an event listener to the left class. So in the event listener, we want to listen to the event of mouse enter. So when the mouse enters, we want to call this function, and this function is basically when this function is called, we want to add that class. So we'll do container dot class list dot add hover left. So when I hover over here, or when my mouse cursor is here in the left section, I want to add the class list of hover left. So I'll just copy this line and paste it here, and when the mouse leaves, we want to remove the class of hover left. So we'll just save and see what happens. Now when my mouse enters here, you can see there is the width increases, and when it leaves the section, the width decreases. So we want to do the same for the right section as well. So we copy paste here and change the class, select this, this, and we'll change it to right. Save that. So when I go over to the right section, the width gets 75%. When I hover over the left section, the left gets 75%. But now there is no transition, so we'll add that transition as well. So go into the style.css again, and here we'll take all the classes here. So we'll do split dot left, and we'll do split dot left of before, and we want to do the same for the right as well. So we'll do right. The reason we are selecting the before, because we want the overlay as well to transition. So we want to add a transition here, and we want to transition all. We'll give it a time of 1 second, and we'll let it ease in and out. And we'll save that. And now when I hover, there is a small animation and it looks better. Let's just increase the window size, and when I hover over the button, it's working. When I hover over this button, this is also working. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope it was useful for you. This was a small project from the 50 projects in 50 days Udemy course, and I hope you liked it. If you did, do let me know. Yeah, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next one.